Apparently people are upset that some of the music in K-pop Demon Hunters is stealing from BTS, and so we have some reactions and stuff like that we need to get into. We have JK saying stop it to something that has happened with Jimin, and then we have the label and their legal action and an update on that. Say Dumplings, is Dave Disci. Let's get into it. Recently, the label has been under attack, mainly because the founder and CEO had gotten into a little bit of controversy. There's a lot of legal accusations and claims that may or may not have happened, to which the label is being investigated for right now. And I'm a little bit shocked that the label is still able to operate, and perhaps the label has gotten to the point where even if they couldn't operate their artists themselves, the artists can do it themselves. And as far as I'm aware, a lot of the artists under HYBE haven't really been doing too much, and it could be allegedly due to this investigation or this lawsuit that's happening right now. I don't actually know what the reason is, or if they're just taking time off because they know that BTS is coming around the corner. So whatever the reason is, we don't know, but we can only speculate. If you're unaware of this situation, I will talk about it very briefly. Bang is recently being investigated for allegedly lying or tricking shareholders or stakeholders during the early stages of the label by allegedly telling them that the label had no intention of going public, while allegedly actively trying to go public. This, of course, isn't just lying if it's true, but this would be lying to the people who have given him money, but also lying to the people who are hoping to invest and make money, that by now would have made more money if they didn't listen to the lie. So when money is involved, that's when laws get a lot more heavy because they want to protect the people from things like this. And essentially, when you're not transparent or extremely unclear about things to your investors or to people who are stakeholders in the company, this is a lawsuit waiting to happen. It would be like if your boss incorrectly fired you, or if your boss said something about the company that made you quit, and then you ended up losing a lot of money because of that. And what your boss said ends up not being true. So that can obviously, we can see that that would result in a lawsuit or something, and if not a lawsuit, then definitely animosity. I just want people to understand the gravity of this situation, and just the fact that if this is true and this was proven to have happened, then not only could Bang face up to several years in prison, but could pay up to several times that amount in fine. We're talking about it being hundreds and hundreds of millions of dollars. And some people might say, oh, that's great. Then they can get arrested. We don't like him anyway, whatever. But if this happens, the label is going under. The label is gone. And so will the majority of the artists that are in this label. So this would include the majority of the artists that are currently training to debut. People like to say one word like good every time a label or a big company goes under. And if you don't understand that when a big company goes under, thousands and thousands of people are affected. This is not considering the potential millions of people that the stock or the effects of the label shutting down would affect. Because anything that gets that big, if it shuts down, will have a ripple effect. We're talking about the thousands of employees that work there that will be out of a job and potentially have to starve. The job market is not good right now, so do we expect that every single person who loses this job is going to automatically find another job? Probably not. And then we're not even considering the effects it will have on us watching the artists in the label. So the effects of the label shutting down and the artist not being able to perform anymore, what effects will that have on us? So millions of people will be affected by this. This is not good news, regardless of if you hate the company or hate any particular person. This is terrible. Now, there's recently been an update because Bang was expected to speak about the future of the label. The future of BTS and their comeback and the future of several different things were supposed to be talked about at this huge business event. This is the Summer Jeju Forum, and it's one of the biggest conventions events ever in Korea. And it's one that brings all business leaders and stuff together, and Bang was obviously invited to speak. The specific panel or speaking engagement that he was doing was titled Beyond the BTS Phenomenon, the Future of K-Culture. He apparently last minute decided to step down and cancel his speaking engagement, and he gave it to someone else that was on the board, and it was the current CEO. I don't know what this means, and if this means that the lawsuit is moving forward and things are progressing, or if this means that he just wants to take time to deal with the lawsuit and all that stuff because he knows he's innocent and he just needs more time. Another reason could just be the fact that if he does go to the speaking engagement and the general population believes that he is guilty of whatever crime he is being accused of, he's going to get tomatoed on stage, metaphorically. Cases like this, especially when there's this much money involved or on the line and involves high-profile people, and then it just involves jail time and all that stuff, it can be drawn on for years potentially. So we don't actually know the results of this until much later. But I will be here to update you on all of that if we get an update. Some of the other viral things that are going on online are just simply people talking about cute, funny moments that have been happening during the live stream. So JK and Jimin both went on a live stream recently, and they talked about a bunch of random things. One of the things that they addressed got the fandom kind of freaking out a little bit. If you're someone who watches live streams kind of on the regular, but maybe you'll watch it with subtitles, so maybe not live. There are certain things that are said and then reactions to what is said doesn't really match with like what was said, like written in the subtitles. So this can be really confusing for someone who might not know any Korean or any language of the person that you're watching, right? But I wanted to give an example of this and something that people had been freaking out about recently, which was a moment where JK and Jimin were talking about their social battery, sort of. Jimin said that JK's internal battery is really precious, and then JK agreed. Jimin then asked if JK's precious little battery was alive and well. JK then jokingly asked Jimin to get up and leave and made a shocked reaction to this. Now, obviously, if you were watching this and reading the subtitles in English, we're probably thinking, what's the big deal? Why did he react that way? Because I'm sure there are a lot of people who make silly jokes like that in our friend group, but we definitely don't think much of it. And especially if it's a joke about your social battery, why is that something that JK would even joke about being offended about? Well, apparently this is slang for penis, and Jimin was referencing that specific body part of JK. And so JK had a little bit of a reaction where he was like, get up and leave, and Jimin said it had been such a long time, and I guess he couldn't control himself. I'm assuming he's referencing it's been a long time since he's been on a live stream and spent a long time talking to himself. I don't know. So that was really funny, and it's just one of those things where we don't know exactly what's going on until we get the full cultural understanding and we get a real translation of it. And a lot of these translation sites will just kind of translate things more literally. And we have to kind of know what the cultural difference is here, right? Which is really difficult, because how on earth would we know that little battery also refers to the male anatomy? But switching gears a little bit again here, we have to talk about this interview that came out where K-pop demon hunters and the creators were asked about their inspiration. The creators talked about how BTS was one of their inspirations because, of course, you can't get into K-pop without knowing at least BTS first nowadays. And they specifically mentioned that a lot of their inspiration came from when COVID happened and everyone was locked in their bedroom dancing to Dynamite. So a lot of people have then taken the fact that a lot of the music and a lot of the inspiration came from BTS, with a lot of people talking about claims of plagiarism and that sort of stuff. But this goes even deeper, as a lot of people believe that the main boy band that's in the movie was inspired by BTS as well. I mean, by the looks of it, one of them looks like JK, one of them looks like Jimin, so there's definitely a resemblance in the group. However, they also look at the other K-pop groups. The creator also talked about their inspiration was not one particularly, but it was a mix of Stray Kids, ATEEZ, and BTS. So there definitely aren't copyright things, and there definitely wouldn't be an issue there with plagiarism. Many other people were wondering what JK's reaction would be watching something that potentially was inspired by him and his members, or if he would think that there's an issue with copyright or plagiarism. Well, he recently got an answer to that, because JK actually reacted to some of the clips, specifically reacting to, I think, Soda Pop and just the Saja boys in general. He seemingly liked it, and he also talked about how the ending was really emotional for him. Spoiler alert, but I'm assuming he was talking about the potential loss of someone at the end. That was definitely an emotional moment, I think, for a lot of people watching it. And I thought it was really well written, and it was obviously written to be very successful because it did not get boring at any point. There was no breathing room. One thing happened right after another, which I thought was very interesting. I don't think JK has an issue with it. He seemed to really like it, and I'm sure he would be upset if the label or anyone would attempt to take action. Not that they would have any grounds to do so. I hope that the movie continues and that there is more. I really see this as a TV show, and I'm really hoping that since the movie did really, really well, the producers and the directors and the creators of K-pop Demon Hunter can do a TV show, because they all have the connections already, right? Obviously, Netflix believes in them now, so they would have a lot of leverage to create something. I can see 3 seasons of this right off the bat. Let me know what you think. Make sure to check out Patreon for more videos, linked down below. Thank you to this lovely comment right here. Love you, bye.